Okay, so we're on to this. Okay, so example one. All right, let's just finish marking using what we have. So our properties tell us that opposite sides are congruent. So if this is 10, then this is going to be 10. Our properties tell us opposite angles are congruent. So if this is 80 degrees, that's 80 degrees. Our properties told us that consecutive angles add up to 180, or supplementary. So that's why this is going to be 100. 180 minus 80 gives us 100. So that's going to be 100 there as well. Okay, opposite angles are congruent. All right, now some people say, can I put 10 here? It may or may not be 10. We can't say for certain. We do not have enough information to say whether or not these are going to be 10. All right, so we can't put it down. It's possible, but parallelograms come in lots of shapes and sizes. Okay, so great time to hit the pause button, try this one, and then check your answers. Now that you've tried this, now that you've hit the pause button and give it a shot, you see the opposite angles congruent. Opposite sides are congruent, and then opposite angles are congruent. I can do 180 minus the 113, so that gives me 67 degrees, and I have opposite angles congruent. Right? That's all we can do for that. Oh, yep, and this one we can do both sides because they had two measurements at the beginning. So hopefully you tried that on your own and you got all those answers. Okay. If we're looking at example 3 here, okay, for ourselves. Oops. Sorry, let me just switch gears here. Okay, I'm going to switch. I wrote on my originals by accident. So I'll go back here. Okay, so for this example, right, let's see what we have here, right? So let's try to do all our properties. So I try to go down. So let's see. Opposite angles are congruent. Well, there's no opposite angles to see here, so I'm going to start by doing the opposite sides are congruent because I have 12 here and 12 down here, 9 and 9. Okay, so I like to start with that property. Next thing I know is that the diagonals bisect each other. So if that's 8, this is going to be 8 here. Remember, the diagonals were not necessarily congruent, so we can't say for certain if these two are congruent. We know that we know these two are congruent, but we can't say what the measurements are because we don't have any measurements. So I'm just going to put some tick marks on there. That's kind of like placeholders. Some people feel the need to put markings on every side, and this allows me to do that without actually saying what that measurement is going to be. Okay. Now let's do some angles, right? Now, we can't say that this 35 equals this 35 because 35 is a portion. Okay, but let's see what we can do. Well, if that's 80, then that's 80 vertical angles, and this is 100. So that's your basics back to first day of angles. Hey, finishing the intersections. Always want to finish that intersection. If I look at this, I now have a triangle right here. How that triangle? See that triangle right there? I know a triangle has to add up to 180, so we're still using that. So 180 minus 100 is 80, minus another 35 is going to be 45 degrees. Okay, so we're starting to get some more information here. Oh, I have another triangle there. I don't know if you guys see that triangle right off the top, but I have another triangle I can finish. I got this triangle right here. Okay, and since we have 80 here, that means we have 100 left over for these two, and 58 already there means that we have 42 degrees left over for that one. Okay, so we're good to go on that. Okay, wow, how do I get some more? Well, I want to remind you, we didn't use the opposite sides of parallel, so let me go mark that on here. This is parallel to this, okay, and this is parallel to this. Okay? And what that's going to allow me to do is I can create that Z that we've been using so much throughout the year to help us. Right? Remember that when you have parallel lines, this is parallel and this is parallel, here's the transversal that goes between it. Okay? So if that's 35, then that's 35. Right? Angles within the Z are congruent. Okay? I could use my triangle here to finish this off, or I could use another Z if I wanted to. Either way, I'm going to get 45 degrees here. Okay, so I could do 180 minus 100 minus 35 giving 45. I could use the Z. Notice that this triangle and this triangle are congruent. They have all corresponding angles congruent, and all corresponding sides congruent. Okay, so that's another property we can add here. Okay, right? The opposite triangles formed by the diagonals are congruent. Okay? And that's helpful. There's a lot of repetition, so use that repetition to help you out there. Okay? These are congruent. Right? These are congruent. Okay, and we could prove that. We're just not going to. That's true. I could use my z going side to side. Right? Turn it sideways. Okay. There's a z. Top and bottom are parallel. So that's going to be 58 degrees here. I can use the z over here and say that that's 42 degrees. Okay. So I can get all those measurements. Okay. Hit the pause button. Right. Try the next one. It's got the same idea. Right. And then tune back in and then hit play. Right. And see how you did. For this one, now that you've tried this one on your own, if you haven't tried it, you should hit the pause button and try it. But if you have tried it, here's how we got the answers. 11 and 11, those are opposite sides, they're congruent. Right? Diagonal bisects. So I'll do that. I like to do my sides first, right, just to get that out of the way. Right? I don't have a measurement for each of these, so I can put a tick mark on it. I'll put one here and one here. Say these two sides are congruent. I don't have either measurement, but at least I know those two sides are congruent. Next, I'm going to use a different color to do the angles. I can finish this intersection because they gave me 75. Okay, remember this coming from 180 minus 75, okay? And then I can finish this triangle. 40 and 75 are 115. Take that away from 180, and I get 65 degrees. So I have 65 degrees right there, okay? So, now, if I use my z, right, I'm going to use it sideways here because I remember that opposite sides are parallel. Because it's a parallelogram, the directions tell us that these are parallelograms. So the opposite, so my alternate interior angles using the z tells me this is 65 and tells me this is 40 right here. Okay. If I use these alternate interior angles, well, that's 60 right here. Okay. We don't have this one or this one yet. We know they're going to be congruent, but we can figure it out because we have 180 minus 105 minus 60. That'll leave us with 15 degrees. Okay. If we add these two up, we get 125, and then we add up these 55. Hey, those do in fact add up to 180. So remember, consecutive angles, and that's how we can check our answers there. Okay, so there's some examples of their quadrilaterals using all those properties. Okay, as you do the homework problems, right? Use this chart right here. Use these examples as models, and do your best on the homework. Right? Making sure you let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.